here's how they'll line up for Bob Lilly around Augie Williams. What stands out to you in our starting lineup? Brewed for victory, I see light.
But I mentioned not recording a shot on goal against Lexington. It's going to be something with the midfield where how can they connect himself and balances out that staff and demands.
We're underway in the home opener for Pittsburgh at Highmark Stadium. Along with Eric Dobransky, I'm Josh Appel. Thanks for spending part of your Saturday night with us on the banks of the Three Rivers here in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh in the black and yellow, Hartford Athletic in the white and blue. And Eric, you are a former coach. I mean, you could speak to a dynamic like that.
Yeah, it's so important because your players need that collaboration.
Well, here's a giveaway. Jang! Oh, he was nearly on the board 30 seconds in.
You want to tidy up here at the very beginning, and that's the recognition of the pressing cue there by Zhang. Mentioned a portion of his game that just continues to evolve, the way he defends and leads this line.
Now let's see how Pittsburgh responds after that early giveaway. They calm things down a bit. That would have been a real tough start to their home opener.
Well, and Josh, you dodge an early bullet in terms of, you get away with one, and sometimes early chances, conceding early chances like that, kind of wake teams up sometimes and kind of get you to be a bit more detailed, a bit more secure and sturdy with what you're doing on the ball, especially in the build.
Pittsburgh. The cross in was deflected, and it will be a corner.
Goalkeeper of the year, as you mentioned.
Suber plays to the area. Good look. Just goes wide. He's the one who got a piece of it. Just kidding. On third attempt, it was Danny Griffin. Ironic. Is that irony?
Just making his point. Call me for another foul. But going back to Augie Williams, and Bob Lilly had mentioned in that San Antonio game, obviously as you start to build into this possession-oriented style, obviously it's something that they've been accustomed to, but when you have a new group and a couple players that have stepped in, whether it's due to injuries or just overall, there is some familiarity that you need to build with their pressing cues and being collective.
Something brewing here for Pittsburgh. The header! Big save, Siaha! It's on the header, but an excellent save by Siaha.
And there's that wide delivery that we've seen early on in this match. They go back to it.
Here it comes, towards the back post. Hartford handles it well, but O'Toole chases it down. Sent back into the area. Farrell got a piece of that. E2 flicks it. Mertz trying to catch up to it. Williams in the area as well. Ooh. Dangerous collision nearly between Mertz and Anderson.
And then on that player, make yourself open and get on the ball. Again, Hartford doing a good job of denying any sort of entry into Augie Williams, but they're going to want to see a bit more of the ball in the second half.
So ready for action in half number 2 from Highmark Stadium on the banks of the Three Rivers in Pittsburgh. The home opener on a night where they're honoring Kenardo Forbes. Josh Appel, Eric Dobransky with you. Thanks so much for spending your Saturday night with us.
Has lived up to the secure transition. I think some of the most dangerous opportunities for Hartford have come off of some lax buildup from Pittsburgh. I mean, you talk about the first minute by Zhang picking off that pass in the back, and then Ingalina having an opportunity from the wide area. Other than that, they've limited some of the loud opportunities in transition. And then I think for Hartford, they've just been unable to capitalize on those 2 chances that they created off the press. And then they've been unable to sustain and be consistent with getting themselves on the ball, finding the outlets and finding those margins that'll come to define a match, and those winning moments, those winning plays that you can create to pick up 3 points on the road.
It's been tough sledding for them tonight. Rarely had the ball in their possession, but on the flip side, Pittsburgh has struggled to do much with it as E2 puts one on target. But Siaha is there.
There's that commitment from Hartford to influence the final action. Yes, E2 explodes into this space and gets it on his right foot, and making sure that you at least secure some of those big moments.
But that, you know, sometimes can be dangerous because then you're.
So when you want to work in those wide or half spaces, what do you need?
And Galena again. And Galena for Jang. Great defensive play by Usamanu, but then Hairston. Can either team break through here? Less than 20 minutes remaining. We've completed 74 minutes here in Pittsburgh.
I've seen a couple close calls, and just as I mentioned about Hartford, that natural inclination to maybe sit back and retreat and at least earn 1 point, and then obviously look for that one opportunity to break and score a goal. But we've seen hints of it the last few moments as Zhang is reading some of these pressing cues and almost getting on the end of it, and Pittsburgh has to be careful in that build.
Throw in here for Pittsburgh. Biasi still with it. Biasi deflected, and then Edrock tried to step into it, mishit it, kept it alive for E2. E2 flicks it in, header! It's Griffin! It took 75 minutes, but the captain comes through.
And just exceptional all around.
Obalola for Farrell. He lost it. Taken away by Borghi, and he clears away. And there is the final whistle. First win of the season for Pittsburgh. It comes in the home opener. What a way for Bob Lilly's side.